yeah, is there anything else that's coming down? Any sneak previews about what's coming down the pipeline in terms of from Halton Black Voices to look forward to? We're heading into some warmer months.
Yes, yes. So definitely, we've got a Black Joy Gala coming up soon in June. And then in August, we're doing a community healing picnic and Black camp out. So that allows Black families that typically had never camped before, have that experience within Halton to camp, to know what it's like to put up a tent, to sleep under the starlights, under the moonlight, and to connect with nature. And then in the fall, we're going to be doing like a vendors event for Black-owned businesses versus like commodities and technology, like all those entities that Black folks and their allies do want to come out and support. So we are going to be focusing on Black-owned businesses within Halton and supporting the business and work that they do.
That's amazing. So viewers, stay tuned. Make sure that you visit the website that we share here. So many great things to get involved in and ways to support Black community, Black businesses, Black youth, and really, as I say, find your place in this work and use your power and your privilege. So I want to take a few minutes just to talk about something that, again, you and I have talked about around something that unfolded in January that really many of us saw the writing on the wall and knew that, it's something to be paying attention to. I'm thinking about what was called the Freedom Convoy movement. I'm not sure, I definitely don't feel great about that language because freedom is not what I think of when I think about that movement. But I'm wondering, what's continuing to sit with you? We're a few months out from that, and of course we see fits and spurts. It's not completely over, but and for those of our viewers who maybe were not familiar with what happened, but there was a convoy that moved from across the country to Ottawa in January, and it really for several weeks really deeply disrupted, and I'd say even caused harm to that community, as well as anyone who's involved in the work, and also just as citizens. I feel like part of me was like, are we all seeing the same thing? Because I'm not sure the reaction matches the level of concern that's really alive. So from your perspective, where are we at, or what's the opportunity in this moment?
The opportunity is to really recognize that you can mobilize people for good. People do want to get out on these streets, so it's just understanding the nuance and like how do organizations or agencies on the left organize, prepare their people to do something similar to the convoy, not necessarily go out and disrupt, other societies and other cities that they don't belong to, but how do you build that level of solidarity on the left? How do you bring that support for other politicians or other activists to help do the good work on the left, and provide that sort of space where those can organize, those can practice their verbiage, those can practice their opinions or their debates. I think we need to hold space for those that do want to do good, that do want to protect women's rights, to protect Black lives, to protect our youth, to provide shelter for the unhoused, provide healthcare for all. So it's like, how do those people that do see the gaps in our society organize in that sort of capacity like the convoy did?
Absolutely. So much in your response there. And the thing that resonates for me is that piece of, one of the things I noticed in that time, and I don't know how much of it was also because of the fact we're continuing to live through a pandemic, and we're not, I don't think, out of the woods yet, but really I was very conscious of how tired people were, and how how not full people's cups were in terms of and even I noticed personally, like I pride myself somewhat on being able to engage meaningfully with different, but in that moment I just, with seeing it unfold, and if people in my world were showing social media that supported it, I really was feeling harmful to me personally. And so what I've been able to do, because one of the things I think is we need to keep talking across the table, even if our views are different. It's about how do we, find ways to stay in the conversation, find ways. And I had an opportunity where someone I care about ended up telling me that they supported what was happening. And we had some really amazing, a series of conversations, because I'm like, I love this person, I respect this person, and they're supporting something that is really concerning to me. And I think some of the conversations we had invited some curiosity. I'm not going to say that I necessarily understood the perspective, but I understood the spirit, that somehow this person thought that they were aligning themselves with freedom for everybody. And then one of the questions I left him with was, of all the things you could support, if freedom is a priority to you, why was that the movement that you chose to support? And again, I think we have more discussions to have. I think, as you said, there is an opportunity for us, whether we're, whatever hat we're wearing, but as citizens in this country, you get the community you invest in. And so if we don't want to see things like the convoy suddenly pop up as considerable movements, how do we keep fostering conversations? How do we, as you said, form solidarity, that we recognize we may have causes that we're partial to, whether it's LGBTQ, whether it's Black lives, Indigenous solidarity. How do we recognize that it's all of us that need to be working together, that we're stronger together? It's that idea of like turning a hand, as fingers alone, they're not as effective, but once they come together, there's a strength there that, and a resilience, I'd say that's another thing that I'm sitting with as well.